if you know me, I like to do puzzles, mysteries, and stuff like that, and throw people off their trails. Marlena doesn't like surprises, so that's why she wants to know right away. But family and friends, be prepared. You never know what's going to get thrown at you, dropped on you, splashed in your face. Hopefully not splashed in your face, but still, it's going to be big news. It's going to be coming right at you, just like a baseball going into a catcher's mitt.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, that's exciting. Again, we're in the prime of our lives, and you're having a kid. That's pretty great. Like I'm excited that it is a gender reveal just for you, because I've seen all those on the internet, and and again, this is just me. I feel like some of them can go a little over the top, and like you can make a mistake on those. Like you can make it so great, but if you like drop the ball, or like you drop something and it just breaks, and like I remember one video, there was a gender reveal which made me cringely happy. Like there was a woman that was very excited to see. By the way, she had like 3 other kids, so it's not like this is like the big surprise, like number 4. Like after a certain point, I feel like people are just like, oh yeah, 4, great. Like this is it's probably a religious household. That's my guess. You're just doing it for
stop popping them out,
basically. And so there's a video on the internet of this woman that's packing up the car, like ready for the gender reveal, and she has like the little ball thing that'll drop, and I don't know if they're gonna drop it or throw it, whatever. And then one of the kids like knocks it over, like it's like out of her hands, like it's a football, and it breaks, and it reveals the gender. I believe it's a girl. And then like the girl goes in to the house, and she's so depressed. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like this, like I'm like, if you didn't know, that's fine. Like that's fine if you didn't know. But I feel like going into this gender reveal process, like this party, if you're throwing it for a bunch of people, you should know. Like, hey, and if you're making it this big of a deal, then I feel like I don't know. I don't feel sympathy to an extent because of that. Maybe it makes me sound like a jerk, but I don't like these gender reveal things. Like I don't care. Like sure, they're cute after the first like couple of them that I saw, but afterwards I'm like, okay, how? Like, are you gonna die? Like the most ridiculous thing I could think of is like someone like skydiving with a ball and just dropping it. That would be a cool little thing to watch. But outside of that, like, look, I get it. Like you're having a baby, congratulations. Like, let me know what you want me to get you for your little demon child, and we'll go from there. Like I don't know, Tom. Because obviously you're making it private. Like that's something that you and Marlena want to share for the rest of your lives and be a special moment because it's your first one, and so that's exciting, right?
Yeah, and it is, and it's been a whirlwind of excitement for future people. Those who want to have kids and everything like that, don't look too much into everything that happens, because Marlena and I freaked out the moment we knew, where Marlena freaked out more than I did. I basically was calm, collect. She handed me a beer.
Oh, you really? Get out of here.
But
stop
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Just take things with a grain of salt, because there are things that your mind will start racing about, thinking about the worst possible scenario that might actually happen, but probably won't. You just don't want to go down that rabbit hole when you're thinking about, like, okay, my baby's heartbeat is only 112. It's only like the 6th week. That's not good. Yeah. Now it's, I'm relaxed. I went through my freak out phase. Now whatever comes my way, I'll be open to it, and we'll just keep on trudging on,
Bam. See, there you go. Like that's the attitude I feel like most people should have around babies, but like I feel like people want to make this magical moment, like it's Disney. Like I get it. Like have it between you two, have a private moment, like cuz especially if it's your first one, cuz it's a great time. It's a special time that you guys should enjoy, and make the most of that, magical moment. Speaking of magic, boom, great transition. Magic Johnson is now out. Oh, look at that. See, this is what we're going to do here. We're going to make some great transitions on this podcast. Magic Johnson now out as the Lakers' president of basketball operations. And it seemed kind of obvious. Like, a lot of the talk today on the blogs and the other podcasts out there is Magic Johnson is his best asset is being Magic Johnson. Like, there's no other qualities I feel like outside of being a great businessman. Like, let's be honest, he's a great businessman. Has a lot of ventures in LA, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's Magic Johnson. Like, a lot of the things that he had failed at, whether it's being a talk show host, which lasted 11 episodes, or actually being the head coach of the LA Lakers, lasted 16 games. Even tried, some TV because he's a great personality. Didn't last long. He gave them like generic takes, but that's what I feel like most people in the sports industry do. Like they make some great takes, but because it's Magic, it's like it adds this level of pizzazz that we've apparently never experienced before. And then now being like the president of basketball operations, he didn't realize that he had to be so muffled. Like he couldn't be on Twitter. He couldn't, talk to other players because obviously that's tampering. And Lakers have to pay a bunch of fines. And then. But I don't think it was a successful tenure, but I don't think it was a bad one. Like, he set up the Lakers for success. I think when you look at it, he got LeBron, which is obviously a great free agent signing, and he got a lot of one-year contracts. So setting up for this summer, there's that potential for 2 max contract players, whether it be Anthony Davis, whether it be Kawhi, or whether it be some other, or even Kyrie, apparently. That's the rumor that he might be taking meetings in LA, which I think he's done it with Boston, I think, at this point. I don't think Boston wants him, and I think they're going to go for Anthony Davis, and so we'll see what happens there. But I just don't think that this was a bad tenure, but I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that Magic Johnson is who he is, and it wasn't bad. It's just he was able to will to so many things, and he didn't realize how much work that there was. Apparently, there was sources of him walking around, or not even being there, and just being at different functions and high-level executives calling ESPN to say, "Hey, where's Magic at?" Like, I don't know where. They're calling ESPN. Like, isn't he their like head guy? And they're trying to figure out where he is. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't understand. And why he left, but like it seems that he just is happier as just being who he is, and that's great. You're one of the most iconic players in LA history, and you're one of the most iconic people in LA. So I don't know, Tom. What are your thoughts? And is this a good or bad move that he's stepping down?
I think this is a great move for the organization, for him personally, and for the organization itself. Magic Johnson even quoted that he said he wasn't having fun. So that's the most important part about a human, is to have fun. If you're not enjoying yourself at your job or what you're doing, you should step away from it and find something that makes you happy. He did step away from being the operations manager, but there's other things that you can do within the organization to help the team improve and to win. And for him, he might have just thought that might be the best way to go. I agree. I think that is the best thing to happen. And I also think that there are 2 other people that need to be removed from the Lakers. And I know Lakers fans out there will not like this, but going back to the Lakers' identity, right now they have none. LeBron James might be the team leader that they thought might bring the Lakers around to being the playoff team that they wanted to be, but they're not. Lonzo Ball was another one. They thought he was going to be the next Kobe Bryant, but he failed because of his father, because they were outspoken. I know Big Ball was quieted down a little bit by Johnson and by LeBron James, having a private meeting. But even then, that did not solve the identity crisis that they're having in the Laker Nation. So what I think needs to happen is Lonzo Ball and LeBron James both need to step away from the Lakers, because they're not helping. They're hindering that team. And LeBron James may give you a certain amount of points per game, but it's a team sport. You can only do so much. And we saw that this season. LeBron James did not do that great for the team itself. What I'm thinking they might need to do is find that identity. Find that next Kobe Bryant, but not Kobe Bryant. Somebody who's that superstar that will take this team and create a new identity for the Lakers, just like Magic Johnson did, just like Kobe Bryant, just like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So my take on this is I really hope that Zion Williamson goes to the Lakers, and for some reason I hope that LeBron and Lonzo Ball go away. This is my dream setting right now. Not a huge Lakers fan, but I think that might help their identity crisis that they're having right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be... Now, again, it's going to be hard to obviously get rid of LeBron's contract. Obviously, there will be a lot of suitors wanting to get LeBron, and it's not impossible. I think we've seen more ridiculous things, as we saw last offseason when Kawhi got traded to Toronto. But I think Zion in LA would be very interesting. Like, he's not a loud personality. Like his game speaks for itself, which is great. I think that I don't know if he can handle that media, the media that would come with it. And I think there may be other prospects in the draft that would suit better for LA, aka John Morant. I think that he would probably be little better suited. I don't know if there's actually really a name that you could point to in this draft. Maybe RJ Barrett would be great. I think that would be a good face to the franchise. But again, I don't know. Like there's a lot, and they could have had a point guard too in D'Angelo Russell, and we've seen how great he's been. But then again, no one really predicted that he would actually turn out to be as good of a player as he is and a leader. At 22, 23, again, he was only drafted a couple years ago. I know I had the opportunity to watch him at an NCAA tournament game when they had them here in Portland. He played when he was at Ohio State. He played against VCU and led them to an overtime victory. And I'm like, oh, this kid's gonna be really good. I didn't think it'd be that good, And now the Brooklyn Nets are in the playoffs for the first time in 3 years after the disaster that they did to get rid of all their first round picks for 3 aging superstars and whatnot. And again, it was really bad. But yeah, no, LA, they need something. And the thing now is LA isn't necessarily the most attractive destination anymore just because everyone can be their own person thanks to the world of social media. Like Giannis is Giannis because he's in Milwaukee. He doesn't have to go to LA to expand his brand. He can if he wants to, but he doesn't have to. Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma and Paul George, they're in Oklahoma City. It's not a big market for advertising, but they're who they are because they're great players. Anthony Davis is in New Orleans, which again you can consider somewhat of a bigger market, but again it's not LA or New York for that. And then again San Antonio as well. That's players in the past have been able to do great things, and they don't need to go to LA. So I don't know if LA is even an attractive destination anymore. I think it's more about the organization and structure, about winning a championship. And right now, if I'm going to pick a team that's close to winning a championship, it's the LA Clippers. They seem, for some reason, they got in the playoffs as a 7th seed. I don't know how, or maybe I think that 7 or 8 seed, but still, it's insane that team of decent players who traded away arguably their best player in Tobias Harris for a couple more pieces, and this group of pieces that seems to be like in a way similar to Denver. There's no true star on the roster, but they have a lot of good players, really good players, and they seem to be gelling as a team, and that's what you would want moving forward, and that's what Boston is, and they don't need Kyrie. Like that's what it's amazing to say that Boston doesn't need Kyrie, because when we looked at heading into the season, we thought, look, this is a team that's only going to get better, and then with Gordon Hayward, with a healthy Gordon Hayward, with a healthy Kyrie Irving, this team could win 67 games and then win the NBA championship. It's easy. They could take down the Warriors, no problem. But it seems that they have regressed and have only caused more issues. So it goes to show you that year to year we can't predict the future. And I don't know, LA. It's just, and again, living here on the West Coast, there's a lot of Lakers fans here that talk about the days of old when Kobe was leading the team to championships the first time around in the early 2000s, and then in the back end of that decade. It just, I don't know. There's a lot of questions here that I don't know if we'd have the answers to, but it's going to be interesting offseason for sure, because Kawhi will be unrestricted at that point. Will he re-sign with Toronto after the great season that he just had with them, similar to what Paul George did last season, or is he going to bold and say, you know what, I just kind of want to hang out in LA and even go to the Clippers? That's another option for them. I feel like the Clippers are more likely to get the Kawhi than the Lakers are. It's kind of crazy to me to think that. But I don't know. This is just the first half hour. It's kind of crazy. We haven't taken a break yet, so we'll go ahead and do that now. And so when we come back, Tom, I don't know how much do you eat Taco Bell? Is that something that consumes you?
No, not anymore. I used to have it when I was back in high school, but when college hit and I learned about some of the cockroaches that fell into it, I was done.
Oh, we gotta hear that story. So I've decided to look up all the items on Taco Bell's menu since I've eaten it twice in the last 2 days. I feel absolutely disgusting, and so I'm ready to like poop really hard, and so I just don't know when it's coming. It's due in about an hour.